Hi guys, and welcome to a new video. So today I got the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus here in my hands, and this phone here is still running on Android Oreo. As you can see, it still has the Samsung experience on board, this old interface, and today we're going to install the new official Android Pie Beta for the Samsung Galaxy S9 and the S9 Plus, so stay tuned for that. Right guys, so to be able to install the Android Pie Beta on your Samsung Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus, you need to have a German or United Kingdom unlocked version of the Samsung Galaxy S9 or the S9 Plus. You can also have a Korean version, all of them will work. There may be some different options, so you can probably also download the German firmware and install it on your device, and also use a German SIM card and a German VPN, and this process will probably also work on your phone then if you are not living in Germany. Right guys, so the first step you need to do is to go to the Samsung App Store and download the Samsung Members app. After you have done it, basically open this app here and go to this three-dot menu over here and press on Notices. As you can see here at the top, it says OneUI. Basically press on there and then press on this picture to register your OneUI beta program. Here at the bottom you can register it, so I have already done that, and if you want to deregister you can basically press on there. After you have done that, go back, go to the settings here, then scroll down, go to software updates and search for software updates. So I have done that already. My phone has already found it, the firmware, the update to Android Pie. This here is the one here. And after you have done that, basically press on it and say install now. So this process could take more than 10 minutes. You just need to wait. Right guys, so here we go. Here we have the lock screen of Android Pie. So now let's unlock this phone here. And here we go. So I still have the same setup which I had on Android Oreo. So as you can see, the setup hasn't been changed. You still have your old setup. You also have your old apps. So you won't lose your data by doing this. And here we go. So as you can see, I have my apps over here, and even the pages are still the same. So now let's take a short look on Android Pie on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. So right guys, this here is OneUI on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. So let me confirm you that this here is the new settings section. Let's go to about phone, and now let's go to software information. Here you can see that this is OneUI version 1.0 based on Android 9. Here we have this Android 9 Easter egg, which is really crazy. But something which is really confusing is that we have something called OneUI, and we also have something called Samsung Experience. So this interface basically got two names, or I don't know. Right guys, this here is the build number, and the Android security patch is the 1st of November. So this is really great. Let's go to the home screen here. So as you can see, the home screen has changed not that much, but as you can see, we have new icons. So the phone app has got a new icon, the camera, the clock, the calculator is still the same. The My Files app has got a new icon. The internet icon is also still the same. Gallery has been changed, and yeah, this should be it. So there are a few new icons. I personally don't like these icons that much, but it's okay. This here is the new status panel, or this notification panel. As you can see, it got a little bit bigger now. You have some free space at the top, which does not look that nice if you ask me, but now we have a bigger clock there, and if you pull down on the notification panel twice, the clock will get even bigger and the toggles will be at the top instead of being at the bottom instead of being at the top. Now you can reach toggles much easier with your thumb, so you don't need to go all the way up to access the Wi-Fi toggle, for example. And you can also see that the toggles are rounded now, just like they were in Android Lollipop or in Android Marshmallow. So if you ask me, this one here looks more like Android Marshmallow on TouchWiz. So it's white, you have your circle icons, and so on. So another thing which is not that nice is that the notification panel is a little bit laggy, especially because of this blurred background here, so it is not that smooth, right? But I'm pretty sure that they will improve this with future betas. There will be like 4, or I think there will be 4 more betas, or maybe 3, we don't know yet. And yeah, of course I will also make videos on the next betas. So this here is the notification panel. If you pull down the notification panel twice, it will get a full screen thing here. You got your search bar now, so this search bar was hidden in Android Marshmallow. It was there on the S7 Edge, on Android Nougat, but together with the S8 they had removed the search bar. Now it's there again, and something which I don't like is that the search bar has the same action like this search bar. It's basically the same, and you can also see that the keyboard has got a dark mode here, so you can see every time when we go to the search section here, the keyboard will be dark, so this is a really nice thing. As you can see here, it's white, but in the search section here, it's dark, just like on iOS. Right, so this is the notification panel. I have showed you that already. So there are things which I don't like, there are things which are nice. So in general, I think they have used too much space here, so they could use less space at the top. And also this bar here is way too big. It shouldn't be there, or it shouldn't be that big, to be honest, or if you ask me. You can still enable the brightness slider at the top here, and this is how it looks then. Looks nice, if you ask me. So I would also use this in this way here, so it's much easier to adjust your brightness in this way. And yeah, this is the notification panel. Now let's move on to the recent apps section here. So this here is the recent apps section. So you can see that you got your normal recent app section, which you also have on Android Pie. So here on the left side, I got a Xiaomi Redmi Note 4, which runs on Android Pie, but this here is AOSP. This is not OneUI. And you can see that the recent app section looks quite similar here. So you have your horizontal scrolling thing here. If you ask me, this here is not that useful like it was on Android Nougat or on Android Oreo, because on Android Oreo you had card stacks and you had to scroll vertically, okay? And you were able to see 4 apps without scrolling. Now you can only see 1 app, and at this time here is the Google app. You don't know which app is opened on the left or on the right, so you always need to scroll in order to see which apps are open. So this is not that easy to use like it used to be. And you also got a search bar now at the top, which will also go to the normal which will link you to the normal search bar on the app drawer here. Right. Something which we also need to mention is that this ROM here, or this firmware, has got the night mode on board. So if we press on there, everything will get dark. So this is basically normal night mode. Everything will get dark. You will get a dark theme, which is really nice. And this is something which we were waiting for since ages, and now Samsung has added this night mode here, so it's really nice to see that. Something different which is not that nice in the recent app section is that when you open WhatsApp, for example, okay, so this here is WhatsApp, and if you go to the recent app section here, you can see that there is a white bar here where the keyboard used to be. So you can see now we have a full screen recent apps thumbnail here, but as you can see, because of the keyboard, which is now not there anymore, you will get a white bar, and if you ask me, this doesn't look that nice. So this is also something which Samsung definitely needs to fix with future builds. So this is a small bug which I've also found. Of course, you still got your close all button to close all your recent apps, and yeah. Right guys, so now we are in the settings app here, so you can see there are small different design changes here. So first of all, there's the settings label there, so you can see that this here is the settings app basically, and this here has a big advantage. So because of the settings area, or the settings label is so big, all of the of your categories are listed at the middle of the screen now. So now you can reach the connections submenu much easier than on Oreo. So in Oreo you had to go all the way up and press on the connections category, but now it's much easier. Now the connections category is on the middle of the screen and you can reach it very easily with your thumb. So this has a big advantage. And another design change here is that you got bubbles now. So you can see that the connections, sound and display categories are in the same bubble here. I don't know why, but they have added bubbles here, even though all these categories haven't to do anything with each other. So for example, I mean, you know, for example, the notifications and the apps, they don't have anything to do with each other, but they are in the same bubble anyway. So actually I don't understand this, but hey, they made bubbles. Right, you can also see that you have a new animation when you go to a subcategory. So every time when you press, you can see that the sub menu will slide up, and if you go back, it will basically slide down. So this is a new animation. You may like it, you may not. I personally don't like it that much. And there's also a small new ripple effect, as you can see. Every time when you press on a category here, it's just like the one it was on Android Lollipop. Right. So in the settings app itself there is not that much new stuff, but here in the lock screen there should be something new. So you can still set your lock screen type, smart lock and so on. Here in the clock style there may be something new, so you can see that all the categories are rounded now here also. So here and there may be some design problems, as you can see here at the corner it doesn't look that nice, but hey, I'm pretty sure that they will fix it. Here you got your clock modes, it's still the same. Here this is the standard clock which you get on Android Pie. And yeah, you can still enable the old one from here, and let's check it out. And as you can see, you got your old Android Android Oreo style clock there, and you can still unlock your phone with your fingerprint. But for some reason they have removed the animation when you unlock your phone with your fingerprint. So as you can see, there is no animation. So this is really sad, but I am hoping that they will fix this in future. Right guys, now let us talk about the new stuff we got on the settings section here. So first of all, if you go to display and then to the navigation bar here, you can now enable the full screen gestures. So this here will hide your navigation bar and will replace it with gestures. You can also enable or disable the gesture hints here, which will enable these three lines. So you can enable or disable them. If you disable them, you can still use your gestures. So if you swipe up, this will be your home button. If you swipe from the right, it will be your recent apps switcher. And if you swipe from the left, it will be your back button. But for some reason the back button here does not vibrate on my phone. Something different which we need to mention is that if you disable the navigation bar, there will still be a big empty area here on the stock launcher, and your labels of your icons will be gone. So as you can see, I don't have the phone label here anymore and the internet label and so on. So they are now gone. Yeah. So something different which is new here is in the advanced features. So if you press on there is something called reduce animations. So if we disable this one here, the animations of your phone will be disabled. Not all of the animations, but almost all of them. So as you can see, you still have this animation here, but if you jump to an app from the app switcher, the animation is not there anymore. So this, you can enable this one here to make your phone faster, but you can still make your animations faster from the developer option. So this feature is still there, and yeah. So the split screen mode has also got a small different change. So if you go to the recent apps section here and press on the icon, you can open almost all of these apps in the split screen view. If you open this here, you will get a normal list of your apps which are open in the background, but you won't get a full list of your apps which you had on Android Oreo. So they have removed this feature. Now we can only open the apps which are open to the background, which is quite sad. But the split screen mode is also still working quite well. If you press on there, you have your two apps. It's still very easy to use, but the sad thing here is that you don't have your Samsung style split screen anymore, so you can't press on the middle of the screen here to get your menu here. So they have removed the split screen menu, which is quite sad if you ask me. So what we also need to say is that almost all of the apps here have got a new redesign. So if you open the gallery, for example, you can see your gallery is black now, so you get a completely new design, and the modes or the albums are listed at the bottom here, or the tabs, so it's much easier to reach them. On Android Oreo they were at the top here, and it was much harder to reach these things here on Android Oreo, so this is a really nice thing on Android Pie. The dialer has got the same design. As you can see, they have added the tabs at the bottom here, which is also really nice to see, but it's a bit confusing that I have turned off the night mode and the gallery is still in black. So there are some color problems here and there, and something which is also not that nice is that the camera and the search app, both of them are not shown in the recent app section. So you can see the search app here is completely white and the camera is completely black. So this is also something which needs to get fixed. Talking about the camera, so now let's open it. So as you can see, you got a new redesign of the camera. So the buttons and all of them have been changed. You don't have your slider anymore to zoom, so they have removed this feature, which I think nobody was using, so this is a good thing. They have added a new button to change the camera here. And as you can see, it works still just like it did before. They have moved Bixby Vision and the AR emoji to the top, which I also think nobody is using. And yeah, almost everything else seems to be unchanged. So I mean, feature wise it's still almost the same. So let's go back here, and here you can see you got your video, your slow motion, super slow motion, and so on. So the features are still the same, but they have changed the interface. Right guys, so now let's talk about the performance of this ROM. So of course you won't get the best performance on the first beta, okay? So Samsung will release different betas with time. There will be a lot of different betas which will be much better than this one here, I'm pretty sure. But if you want to get the latest Android Pie on your Samsung Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus, you can definitely install it and use it as your daily driver. But you need to be sure that you will face to some bugs here and there. So it's okay, you can use it. The battery life is not the best one, but you will get a full day with it, I'm pretty sure. The RAM usage is also quite okay on this beta here, so it uses a bit more RAM than Android Oreo did, but the nice thing here is that this Android Pie only uses 500 megabytes of the whole RAM on the S9 Plus. So on the S9 Plus, Android Oreo used to reserve like 1 gigabyte, which was very bad. You only had 5 gigabytes left for you, and now you have like 5.5 gigabytes left, which is amazing. This is a really nice thing on Android Pie, so you have much more RAM available. I'm pretty sure that Samsung will improve this beta with time. I will also make videos on the betas which are coming in the next weeks. And yeah, if you like this video guys, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give a dislike, or leave a comment in the comment section down below. Yeah, peace out.